We will call this meeting to order. This is an emergency Board of Supervisors meeting pursuant to ARS 38-431.02D. Notice is hereby given that an emergency session of the Cochise County Board of Supervisors will be held on Wednesday, March the 8th, 2023 at 10 o'clock a.m. in the Board of Supervisors Executive Conference Room, Melody Lane, Bisbee. And before I go any further, County Administrator, would you explain to the public why it's an emergency Board of Supervisors meeting?
Yes. So we received information that yesterday, March 7th, 2023, at about 10:56 a.m., the Attorney General's office filed a lawsuit against the board and the recorder under case number S0200CB 2023-00106, and based on that filing, we needed to have an emergency meeting to get some legal guidance from our county attorney.
Okay. All right. Any item that's on this agenda is open for discussion and possible action, and we begin with the roll call. District 1?
Crosby is here.
District 2, Supervisor English is present. District 3? Thank you. We have a complete board. Members of the public may also attend this meeting by Microsoft Teams computer or mobile app, or by phone by calling 602-609-7513 or 888-680-6714. Conference ID is 768-482-331#. If you have trouble accessing this meeting remotely, call 520-432-9200 for direction. Pursuant to ARS 38-431.03B, minutes and discussions in executive sessions shall be kept confidential. And we did notice that we may go into executive session, so I need to find out from the county attorney if that's the direction that we should go for this discussion.
It would be a recommendation that the board meets in executive session regarding at least issue 1 on the agenda. Of course, that's a matter that's left to the board to decide.
What is the will of the board? To go into executive session to discuss this issue?
I have such a motion, Madam Chair.
To go into executive session. Do I hear a second?
Sorry, the motion hasn't been made, Madam Chair.
I can. Are we ready? We're ready. Pursuant to ARS 38-431.03A 3 and 4, the board may, I move we go into executive session for legal advice with the attorney of the public body and to consider its position and instruct attorneys regarding the public body's position in pending litigation.
Do I have a second?
I second it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Chair votes aye, and it's unanimous and so ordered. So I think in executive session, we're going to have to recess for a couple of minutes till we get changed to a different form on the intranet and get the meeting room set up. Okay. Well, I can't start without, well, I guess I could start without Tom, but he stepped out of the room. So if everyone will wait just a couple of minutes, you can still be online, but Tom is out of the room.
Logistical question about the agenda. Like I told Mr. Karwachka, I don't have good internet service, and I hadn't figured out how to get on their online here yet, their Wi-Fi. So my agenda that I'm seeing on, I went out to my car and could get it on this phone, and my agenda I'm seeing says canceled at the top. Is this just one meeting today?
It's just one meeting. Yes, correct, Supervisor Judd. The special meeting was canceled, and in lieu of the special meeting, we're having this emergency meeting. So the agenda that you're probably looking at is the special meeting.
Okay.
And there,
okay.
If you didn't hear, it had to be called an emergency meeting since we are being sued and we need to have advice.
I don't have a copy of the agenda. I just have the old agenda that I put on a picture, and it's not the right one. It says canceled.
When he gets back, we'll look at reading the information to you so that you'll be aware of what the actions are and can be taken, okay?
We'll need someone to do that. Still, I kind of knew what needed to be done, and I
Okay.
did things.
Supervisor Crosby is back. We are now in open session again. Action items on the agenda. I think that after the executive session, there is the intent of the board to make motions of actions to be determined.
Sure, I could make a motion.
I'm waiting to hear where you two want to go.
Okay. I move we obtain outside legal representation of Attorney Tim Lasota for the matter of State of Arizona ex rel Christine K. Mays, Attorney General, versus Cochise County Tom Crosby in his official capacity as Cochise County District 1 Board of Supervisors, Ann English in her official capacity as Cochise County District 2 Board of Supervisor, Peggy Judd in her official capacity as Cochise County District 3 Board of Supervisors, and David W. Stevens in his official capacity as Cochise County Recorder, filed on March 7th, 2023.
Okay, I have a second. I have a question. Can you hire one attorney to represent the board and Mr. Stevens? Is that what you are saying in your motion?
That's what this says, so yes. But I know he also has an additional attorney, and that's why it was kind of debatable whether he should have left or not, in my opinion. But
I think we can only hire attorneys for ourselves at this time is my,
Yeah, that's just the caption of the lawsuit. But the discussion was the board hiring attorney for the board.
right. And so I would feel more comfortable if you would make that motion
Without Mr.
adding
Stevens?
Mr. Stevens to it.
okay.
And I would just note that it is certainly possible, because it's a civil matter, that any potential conflicts between the board and the recorder could be resolved by a waiver. And so we will discuss things separately with Recorder Stevens, and it's possible, though no guarantee, that the same lawyer could do all those things.
Okay, there's been a motion, there's been a second, and we're still in discussion, and I could remake the motion now, or I could remake the motion after we discuss more. So I'm interested to know what Madam Judd, or who did she have in mind for an attorney, because I think that's a topic of discussion, is it not, Ms. Judd?
I think right now we're talking, the motion is to discuss Mr. Lasota as the attorney rather than discuss
Okay.
another person.
Did work with the county already?
He says he is as of this morning.
That lawsuit has been resolved. So he no longer has an active adverse lawsuit against.
Does that answer your question, Ms. Judd?
Yes, I just wanted to make sure that was good. I wouldn't mind. I'm not going to make another motion, but I don't need to if I decide this one's okay. Would it be unusual for me to mention that the person that I contacted?
I think
Would that be weird?
I know who you mean, and I like that person very well, but I have spoken to Mr. Lasota more recently, and so if you and I are both tolerant of Mr. Lasota, I can remake the motion deleting Mr. Stevens.
Tolerance of him.
Okay.
Yeah. We need someone. We need someone to come in and do what needs to be done. So
would you take your second back on that first motion?
Or I can take the motion
yeah.
out.
I could
Delete the motion.
I'm sorry, if I can just interject. I think, okay, so we closed out agenda item 1. We came out of executive session. We moved on to agenda item 2. I think the proper motion would have been to discuss this, you're having discussion, direction, approval of obtaining outside legal counsel, and then that allows you to discuss what counsel you'd like to consider talking about, then you can make a motion and take a vote on that particular council. By
We need a
using
motion
the
first to
motion
discuss.
that Supervisor Crosby made, it specifically limits it to the discussion of Mr. Lasota.
Right.
So if you retract the old motion and just make a motion to discuss obtaining outside legal counsel, you can have the discussion that you've been trying to have.
I don't mind that. However, I don't think it's necessary at this point, except for to withdraw the first motion for the sake of efficiency and delete Mr. Stevens in my discussion of who is going to be represented.
And if I could add, if you could add to your motion and you authorize the county administrator to sign an agreement for the implementation.
You saw that?
Yep.
You want to edit that at all?
No, it's,
Besides what I did?
it's on the paragraph. It's just the
Okay,
next sentence.
okay. You didn't underline it.
I know.
And, sorry, and just to be clear, that next sentence actually specifically provide,
Minnesota.
yeah, can I
Wait,
just finish?
we haven't put him on the agenda yet.
Can I just finish this statement real quick? That
Okay, yeah.
the rest of the paragraph for the agendized item is sign an agreement for legal representation of the board in this matter. So I think even without,
Board.
yeah, even without deleting
Okay.
Recorder Stevens, if you go through the whole motion, right, then we're good.
Then we're deleting him anyway. Nonetheless, I will read it over again as the new motion, deleting Mr. Stevens and so on. Okay. So I move we obtain outside legal counsel of Attorney Tim Lasota for the matter of State of Arizona ex rel Christine K. Mays, Attorney General versus Cochise County Tom Crosby in his official capacity as Cochise County District 1 Board of Supervisor and English in her official capacity as Cochise County District 2 Board Supervisor, Peggy Judd in her official capacity as Cochise County District 3 Board Supervisor, filed on March 7th, 2023, and authorize the county administrator to sign an agreement for legal representation of the board in said matter.
Okay, we have a motion and a second now. Any further discussion?
Oh, yeah. Can I make that? So there's a possibility of outside funding or private funding. As we were told before, that the county can't pay for it, so, or shouldn't, or whatever, wouldn't cover it, and ASIP won't cover it. So is that probably in effect, or possibly in effect with Mr. Lasota?
No, that is not in effect with Mr. Lasota. I haven't talked to him about doing anything for free or being reimbursed in any other place besides from the county.
Any other comments?
Well, that's not entirely okay with me, but maybe I can help.
No, I understand. I don't like it either, but I didn't file a lawsuit against us.
Any other comments?
Okay.
Last chance. Hearing none. I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Chair votes no and wants it to be noted as such, but it does pass and it is so ordered. Our next meeting will be on Tuesday, March the 14th at 9:30 a.m. in the Board of Supervisors Executive Conference Room for a special executive session. No other business? Meeting adjourned.